Hello everyone, it's Rachel. Welcome to my channel and to today's video where we are going to be talking about toy rotation. Christmas is coming up in a little over a month and a half already, and if you have kids, that means they are going to have a new collection of toys in their playroom. Now we all know that what usually happens is they love their new toys at first and they play with them really well for like a week or two, and then suddenly they start to lose interest and those toys are set aside like all their other toys, and they come to you telling you that they are bored. One thing that can really help with this is doing toy rotation. There are a lot of benefits to toy rotation, both for you and for your kids, and it really isn't that hard to implement. I have a 1-year-old son, and we started doing toy rotation a couple months ago, and it has really helped his playtime. He enjoys his toys more and he plays with them longer, and I've just found it to be really beneficial. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys all about the whys behind why we chose to do toy rotation, and also how we go about it and how you can start doing it with your children as well. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So before we jump into the how of toy rotation, let's start out with the why. There are a few benefits to toy rotation, and one of them is that having toys filling all the playroom shelves and put in bins all around the room can be a little bit overwhelming. It's like walking into your kitchen and seeing dishes all over the counter and things scattered all over the floor. It can be just stressful, and you find you can't really think as clearly, and for them it can be overstimulating as well. There's just so many choices, it can be a little bit too much, and having less on the shelves and less for them to choose from can make it easier for them to find the toys they want to play with. As a parent, you've also probably noticed that there are some toys they don't play with as much as other toys, whereas when you implement toy rotation, not all of those toys are available at the same time, so it limits their choices and they have to get a little bit more creative and use their imagination a little bit more to find new ways to play with the few toys they have available for them. This can actually help with increasing their attention span, and it also really encourages more depth of play, because when you have fewer toys, you have to get creative about how you can find a new way to play with it and to use it. And the benefit for you, not only that your child plays a little bit better, but also cleanup time is so much easier. When there's only a few toys out for your kids to play with instead of all the options available, it makes cleanup time so much faster. Your work is cut in half. My son doesn't have a very large toy collection to begin with, but since we started doing toy rotation, it's cut in half. So the amount of cleanup I have to do is so minimal. It literally takes me 5 minutes or less each night to put everything all away and get this room spotless. So those are the whys of toy rotation, the benefits of it. Now jumping into the how. So it might look a little bit different for everybody, but how we have done it is that we have split up our toys into 3 categories. So there is the thinking category, the moving category, and then the pretend category. So what I did is I just gathered all the toys that we had and split them up into those 3 categories. Some toys might fit into multiple categories, in which case I put them into the pile that had the least amount of toys. So if something was thinking and moving, but I had a lot of thinking, then I'd move that toy into the moving category. Once you have all your toys separated into those different categories, then you go ahead and take 1 toy or 2, depending on how many toys you have, 1 or 2 from each category and put them together, and that would make a rotation. So for us, I think we have about 1 pretend in each rotation. We have 2 or 3 thinking, because that was the largest category of toys that we had, and then I think 1 or 2 moving. There might be 1 rotation that has 2 moving, the other one that has 1, I can't really remember. We went and split them up so there's at least 1 toy from each category in each rotation. So to give you an example of what I mean by these categories, I'll show you what I have out for my son right now to play with for this week's rotation. So this is how we have our son's play area set up. This is I think it's the Calyx shelf from IKEA, and this we find works really well with the cube box storage containers. And basically we use each cube for a different category, or two if that category is really big. So starting off on this shelf, we have moving, which would be cars, trains, trucks, or even balls, anything that has motion to it. That is what we put here. So for my son in the moving category for this week, we have this car ramp, which he really enjoys this. He finds it to be a lot of fun. I'll link all this stuff down below for you guys in case you're interested. But this we find is a great toy. It's a little different than just having like a car or truck or something. He really likes putting them up on the ramp and then watching them go down. It also has these little garage doors for the cars and a little gas pump area. But this is a really great toy. He enjoys it, learns about motion and that kind of thing. So next we have the thinking category, and this one takes up 2 shelves. Starting off with this sorting cube, it's got different colors and the blocks inside. This just, it's a little bit sticky, but this pops off, and then you can shake all the toys out, dump them out, and then each colored block goes into the colored slot. He really enjoys this as well, not just trying to get it into the spot, trying to sort them, but also just stacking them or knocking over the stacks, or even just, I don't know, he gets really excited and just likes to sweep them around all over the floor. But anyways, this is another great toy. It's from Melissa & Doug, which is a brand I really love. Yeah, this is a great thinking toy. And just to clarify, the thinking category would be anything that kind of is meant for developing their brain. So like this sorting cube, you know, they're trying to fit the pieces in, match the colors, that kind of thing. Puzzles, busy boards, anything like that would go into this thinking category. We also have this toy, which it's kind of an interesting one. It doesn't really go in any category because it pretty much, it spins. And it really works best for younger children or younger babies, but we found Tobias still enjoys playing with it every once in a while. So I've kept it in the rotation. It just seemed to fit best into thinking. I don't know where else it would fit. This is from the Lovevery subscription box, so I can't really leave a link to this or anything. This he enjoyed more when he was like 7 to 9 months. And then as he gets older, we can use it for teaching him colors, that kind of thing. But right now it's just kind of something he'll play with for a little bit, but not super drawn towards because it is a little out of his age range. And then lastly, in the thinking category, yeah, we have a lot of thinking toys in this week's rotation because that is the category we have the most toys of. And this is also Melissa & Doug. It's just this board with little, what do you call these? Doors, I guess. I don't know. And then behind each door there is a farm animal, and it's a magnet. So it sticks into there. He'll have fun pulling these out and sticking them to like the little gate we have in this playroom area because they're magnetic, so they'll stick to the metal gate or to the fridge, that kind of thing. So he's fun with that. Or he'll just carry them around and put them into bins or shoes, or just, I don't know, he likes putting things into other things. We'll find them in these bins, or yeah, he just likes carrying them around and putting them places. This is another toy he really enjoys. He also just likes opening and closing things, which is why we got it for him. And then for the pretend, I just have this little trunk that I keep back there in the corner. And right now for this week, we have his Mega Bloks out. This can also be in the thinking category, but again, pretend category was something we were really limited on in his collection. Probably one kind of toy he's gonna get for Christmas, at least, will be in the pretend category. But for this week, we have the Mega Bloks out. He really enjoys playing with these, building different things, and just playing with the little like cars that come with this set. And then the last cube is for books. And this isn't really in any of those categories, but I think books for kids is really important, and reading is really good for them. Tobias does not read at his age, obviously. He's only a year old, but he does enjoy flipping through the pages or just knocking all the books off the shelf onto the floor. He likes doing that too. And then I'll also pull out a stuffed animal for him to play with, and we have some little wild animal figurines that he plays with every once in a while. So I'll have a couple of those out. And the books I won't really rotate just because we don't have a lot of books that he can use at this time because he's not reading. He's also not at the age where he can use paper books. He kind of tend to fold them. He doesn't really try to rip them. He just like bends the pages. So I just leave these out all the time and he can look at them as he wants to, or just dump them all on the floor if that's what he wants to do. Something else to keep him entertained. Occasionally I'll sit down and read to him. That's what that last cube is, and it doesn't really change other than me swapping out the stuffed animal or the figurines every once in a while. These are the toys we have in this week's rotation. For the next week, it's pretty similar to that. I'll have one pretend, a couple thinking because that's our largest category, and then I think I have one moving in that category as well. The amount of toys you have in each rotation also depends on the number of rotations you can or want to do. For us, we just do 2 rotations because, like I said, he doesn't have a huge selection of toys, so we found that we could split it best into 2 rotations. If you have more toys, you may end up doing 3 or even 4 rotations. Or if you have more kids, you may just end up having a larger selection of toys for each rotation so that each child has toys to play with. The length of the rotation is really up to you. We chose to do 1 week. We'll have 1 rotation's worth of toys out for a week, and then Sunday night I will go through and swap with the other toys that I put away from the other rotation. And then Monday morning he'll wake up and have a new selection of toys to play with. And then following Sunday again, I will swap things back, and so on and so forth. Every week I'll switch back between the 2 rotation set of toys that I have. The rotation cycle length is really up to you. You could do 2 weeks, you could do 3 weeks, you could even do a month. It really just depends on what you find works best for you. My son Tobias is still at a young age where his attention span isn't super long, and I find that usually by the end of the week he isn't playing as well with these toys as he was at the beginning of the week. So I felt 2 weeks was a little bit long for him right now. Possibly when he gets older, I will lengthen the cycle to be 2 weeks or more, but for now, 1 week is what I found works best for us. With all the toys that are not in that week's rotation, put them away out of sight where your kids can't get to them, so they're not tempted to go in and fish out something they want to play with if they're unsatisfied with what is on the shelves. Now that may be in a closet. For us, I just use one of these bins down here. Tobias doesn't usually dig into them. As he gets a little bit older and realizes where I've put his other toys, I might need to move them. But for now, this works for us. But if you have a closet you can store them in, or under a bed or something, then that's a great place to put them. You can also kind of switch things up a little bit based on how your child is playing with the toys you have out. If you find there's one toy that is often neglected, instead of putting it away when that rotation ends, you could leave it out and give them more opportunities to play with it and get more use out of it. Or if there's one toy that you find they really, really love and they're constantly using more than anything else, putting that toy away a little bit longer so they have more opportunities to play with the other things that are available. And that's it. That's how we do toy rotation. It has been working really well for us, and I love just how much more use Tobias gets out of his toys and how easy cleanup is. I really find it to be beneficial. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, be sure to leave it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned to my future videos and vlogs. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.